Guys, being bad with money is not an excuse to not tithe. In fact, it's probably part of the reason. It's a symptom of, like, not be tithing is a symptom of, being bad with money. If you're not good with money, you're probably not tithing. There's a quote, and I didn't look it up. I'll just paraphrase it. And this is a secular quote, and it says, it's along the lines of, show me a man who's been consistently tithing for 10 years, and I will show you a wealthy man. Again, it's a principle. So trying to say, like, it just doesn't work. And again, I kind of tipped my hand to this earlier, but this is the same kind of people who would argue this. Yeah, but it's easy for you to say, I don't have the money, I'm on this, I'm on that, I'm whatever. Guys, it's not a certain amount for one thing. It's 10%. If you make $100 a month, it's still only 10%. A lot of times the people who would argue it, now there's hardships, there's times that people are struggling, I get it, but more often than not, this argument is going to be coming from people who, shall I say, fall into, if a man doesn't eat, doesn't work, he doesn't deserve to eat kind of category. This is kind of like a lazy kind of, right? This is a thing that, again, this is a bad financial thing. These are typically the same people who would argue with me on this while drinking a $9 coffee. This is the same kind of where have you guys ever driven through like a low income neighborhood and you drive through and, the apartments are falling apart, right? The cars are falling apart. The kids are running around, don't look like they've probably eaten well enough and all that stuff. But then if you happen to see a door open, there's a 70-inch TV on the wall. Or you drive through and it's right after tax season and the dumpsters are overflowing with plasma and LCD TV screens, right? And you're like, but like it's raining and the kids don't have shoes on, right. And so it comes down to this kind of mentality of like being bad with money isn't really an excuse to just not follow the principle. And this would be this is like, okay, I'm going to end it this way, and we're going to end. This is my take on the quote-unquote prosperity gospel, okay? Some people go, become a Christian and you'll get blessed. And the problem, I said this a few weeks back, is the problem with the prosperity gospel is it's mostly right, but then they get it wrong in the application and in the heart issue. It's not that if you become a Christian, God's going to bless you and everything's going to be perfect. It's that when you become a Christian, you start following certain principles. Guys, show me someone, okay? Someone gets saved, they start following the Bible, and they start treating their job that before they hated and they blew off, and no call, no show, not whatever, all the stereotypical bad things. I'm going to slack off, this or that. You go from that worker to the worker who treats everything your hand finds to do as unto the Lord. Cindy isn't my manager, Jesus is. I hate Cindy, but guess what? She's not my manager, Jesus is. So then Cindy says, hey, can you take out the trash and clean up? Okay, yeah. I'm going to do this as if I was doing this for Jesus. All of a sudden, they're like, man, this kid, no one mops and cleans up like this kid. Like, he almost never forgets. In fact, the one time he forgot, the one closing thing, he was here before the opener. He said, hey, I'm not even going to clock in. I got to finish this. I totally forgot this last night, right? You start taking these kind of principles. I don't really have the money to give. I'm feeling convicted to give 10%. You know what? I probably should do an audit. I should probably clean up some of my how do I have 3 Netflix subscriptions? Right? Have you guys seen those commercials online? It's like, why do you have 4 HBO Max subscriptions? No, I don't. No, it shows it right here, right? Like, you start to clean things up. You start to make changes. This is why the average Christian it's not because God, like a lot of these things, they're principles, and you start following these things, and you start to do better. But sometimes the gospel, guys, lots of brothers and sisters around the world, the gospel it's costing them their life. It's costing them their businesses. It's not a guarantee. That's what's so great about this country is the American dream it's been perverted into the house, the picket fences, the diamond ring to the engagement ring. These were all marketers that did all this. The actual American dream. What's the actual American dream? Doug, don't answer. Does anyone know what the actual American dream is? All men are created equal for that. Yes, that it doesn't matter. We all have a chance. That I don't get a better shake of the stick because of who my dad was. Now there's, in terms of just looking around like, you're a Duke's son. Okay, now we have some of this, right? But the actual American dream is that anyone can come here from anywhere in the world and make something of it. And we see that. We see people get online. You see them, Minimum wage, you can't even have a house on minimum wage. Don't get started on that. You're not, well, no, I'm not going to get started on that, right? Like all these complaints of they do the economics, they try things, but then you have immigrants coming from other countries who get here and within a generation have generational wealth, right? So the American dream is that we all have the opportunity. And so with this idea of like, well, I can't really afford to give, it's not that you're blessed because you're a Christian. There are blessings, but you start to follow principles that the Bible says. Guys, I already said it with Dave Ramsey. His business was failing. They were as a young married couple. They sat around with their little card table. You can get those for a couple bucks at like Target or Walmart. Target and Walmart are stores that other towns have. It's hard to describe it if you've not been there, but you can ask me about it later. I'll tell you. I'll show you pictures. They're interesting. Imagine a store half the size of our town, okay, right? Like, it's cool. You should go to one. No, but really though. Yeah, I don't know, man. I shouldn't have done that. Now I don't know what I was saying. That's twice today. See, you guys are just such a great crowd. We're having too much fun. But yeah, wrapping this up is we follow these principles, and then we have the ability to be blessed. Dave Ramsey, there it was. You get the card table. Okay, I get it now. Wow, that was a stretch, Jared. Anything for a good punchline, right? Sitting around their little card table, like, it's not working. What do we do? And he went to biblical principles. He's not a deca millionaire because he's a Christian and he has a Christian business. So, we think because I'm a Christian landscaper. How many leaves have you led to the Lord lately? Oh, that's not what I meant. Well, what do you mean? No, you want to be treated differently because you're a Christian. You're a landscaper, but you're also a Christian. And you should then, right? That's not, Christian business, God bless it. No, you're a Christian. You're running a business off of Christian principles, a way that would represent Christ. And then because you're following those principles, just like Dave Ramsey, his business was failing because he was a Christian who thought just calling a Christian business was good enough. And he realized, nope, in order to be a Christian business, we have to be businessmen who follow Christian biblical principles. And that's really the true prosperity gospel. And then we need to remember that we're blessed in this country. All men created equal. Everyone has a chance. You come in here from another country, and you have a chance to, your grandkids can die very wealthy with generational wealth when you came here with nothing. But we have brothers and sisters all over the world where the prosperity gospel, that's not the prosperity. Their prosperity is the prosperity in their spirit. They don't have the same country, the same government as we do. They're not out there. Just believe, brother. Believe for that Bentley. That's not the same in their world. No amount of working is going to make them ever become a millionaire. They do live in a repressive government that will keep them from ever being that successful. And they follow the principles, and they're blessed otherwise. And they're going to see their blessings in other ways. They're going to have martyrs and persecution blessings in heaven that we'll never see. Like, man, how many millionaires are going to get to heaven and go, can I redo life and be persecuted in a third world country like they were? Because I like their reward in heaven better than my reward because of what they went through on earth. We all have different walks of life. We all have different hardships. But we go to the Word for our answer. And we don't expect something that we don't deserve, but we go to the Word for our answer, and that guides our lives. And this is just one example of giving, of how the Bible guides our life. And guys, if you think this message was hard, wait until we talk about forgiveness. That is probably, I think, the hardest message in the Bible is forgiveness. Yeah, but Pastor, you don't understand. I know. We'll get to that eventually. It'll come up eventually. So let's stand.